All right, we've got a new arrival in Minnesota making herself at home after a long road to recovery. I want you to meet Snooki. She's a loggerhead sea turtle, and she just found on the New Jersey shore. That's where she was, hence her name, right, for Snooki, and was brought to a rehab facility in North Carolina where she spent nearly a decade. Now, Snooki is between 40 and 45 years old, weighs in at 310 pounds, and she really isn't quite ready for her public debut yet at the zoo. Eventually, though, she will be moved into Shark Reef. I think you all know where that's there if you go to the zoo on a regular basis. The zoo thinks the sharks will stay out of Snooki's way because she's so big. I don't know. I've seen some of the sharks in that tank. They're pretty big, too. That's going to do it for us here at 7 o'clock tonight. I want to thank you for spending time with us. Randy and Kelsey are going to have more news and weather over on Fox 9 in just a couple of moments. We'll see you there at 9 o'clock. Have a great night. The latest on the Purples' prep, all ahead of Sunday's big game against the Ravens.
This is Fox 9 News at 7.
I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're broadcasting live on Fox 9 Plus, streaming everywhere in the free Fox local app. I'm Tim Blotz. Our top story is Minneapolis can once again has elected Jacob Frey as its mayor.
Next at 9, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey wins a third term.
This as the city council shifts potentially to his governing benefit.
Plus a stunning upset.
My name is Kali Herr, and I'm honored to be the next mayor of St. Paul.
For the first time ever, St. Paul elects its first female and first Hmong mayor.
Then a closer look at school referendums, what some districts now face after theirs failed.
And rolling out the purple carpet for the world premiere of Purple Rain.
I love how they recreated First Avenue.
Some of the celebrities in attendance.
And a legendary shipwreck.
Who wouldn't want to go down there and figure out what happened?
50 years after the Edmund Fitzgerald sank in Lake Superior, hear from divers who have seen it in person.
The condition of the ship is really amazing.
This is Fox 9 News at 9.
This city is on the verge of a great comeback. And the way it will come back even faster is where we are all working together.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has won a third term and says it will be his last. And it comes amid changes to the Minneapolis City Council that could work in his governing favor. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Randy Meyer.
And I'm Kelsey Carlson. Progressives will keep control of the Minneapolis City Council, but they will no longer have a veto-proof supermajority. That power shaped the city's politics over the last couple of years and put a check on Mayor Jacob Frey. But as our Mike Manzoni explains, he likely won't be burdened with that in his third term.
The incoming 13-member city council is split between progressives and moderates 7-6. The progressive wing will keep its 7-seat majority, but because one of its members lost her re-election bid last night, it will no longer have the ability to override Mayor Frey's vetoes, and that happened nearly half a dozen times over the last couple of years. For example, earlier this year, the council overrode a veto over a proposal involving George Floyd Square. Before that, it overrode the mayor's veto on raising the minimum wage for rideshare drivers. And then early last year, the council overrode a veto of an Israel-Hamas ceasefire resolution. Minneapolis Downtown Council CEO Adam Dunnick, who personally backed Frey, says the incoming council could make it easier to get things done, especially when it comes to some of the biggest issues facing the city. The council includes more than 400 members, ranging from Fortune 500 companies to startups.
The other part that we're really focused on is trying to get consensus around public safety. It's a really complicated issue, from support for law enforcement, a humanitarian response to homelessness and some of the addiction issues, livability issues that we have in our city. The Downtown Council and the DID respond to these issues as well as anybody, and trying to forge that consensus will hopefully be easier with the new city council.
And this is the first time in nearly a decade the council members will serve their usual 4-year terms. The new council starts in January. In the studio tonight, Mike Manzoni, Fox 9.
Thank you, Mike. Meantime, in St. Paul, a historic municipal election. The city is now home to both its first female and first Hmong mayor. During her acceptance speech, Kali Her thanked incumbent Mayor Melvin Carter for giving her a start in politics, her team for advocating for her candidacy, and her parents, whom she says bravely came to the United States as refugees.
Never in their wildest dreams would I be standing here today accepting the position of mayor. Mayor of the city that gave them the opportunity to live the American dream. I am doing this work for them, for you, and for the future of this great city.
Another historic milestone. This is the first time St. Paul will be led by all women, with an all-female city council on top of a female mayor. Dozens of school districts across Minnesota turned to voters in this election, asking taxpayers to help fund their local schools.
And this comes as many districts face budget woes, pointing to increasing operating costs, declining enrollment, and other reasons unique to each community. Our So-Young Kim joins us now with a look at the results. And So-Young, in this election, there was a total of, what, $1.6 billion in potential levy requests.
That's right. According to the Minnesota School Boards Association, districts have become more dependent on referendums than in the past.
As operating costs and needs outpace funding sources, school districts across Minnesota say they're increasingly facing financial challenges. The Minnesota School Boards Association is a nonprofit that tracks referendums across the state. Their data shows 70 school districts turned to the community to approve funding in this election. There were 96 ballot questions, and over 62% passed. Voters approved roughly $1 billion in funding, while rejecting roughly $600,000 in requests. Voters approved a $37 million levy for St. Paul Public Schools. The district released a statement that reads in part, quote, "This operating levy will help SPPS maintain the arts and music, language and culture, and college and career readiness programs that fuel our students' excitement for learning and make our schools shine." While an Alexandria Public Schools request for a $3 million capital project levy for safety, technology, and facility improvements failed. The district released a statement that reads in part, quote, "We must now assess our current financial reality and explore all viable strategies to keep our district financially healthy, a process that regrettably may involve identifying necessary budget reductions along with deferred or delayed maintenance projects."
And the Minnesota School Boards Association notes results are unofficial until they are certified. Reporting in studio, So-Young Kim, Fox 9.
All right, So-Young, and a reminder to all our viewers, if you want more on those results, you can find all of that Our election coverage there on fox9.com.
This week, the Annunciation community honored 8-year-old Fletcher Merkel and 10-year-old Harper Moisky during All Souls Day, a day to pray for those who have passed on. Both children were shot and killed inside their Minneapolis school's chapel in late August. The Annunciation community also recognized Harper's birthday yesterday by wearing pink, which was her favorite color. And then also this week, a powerful step in Annunciation shooting survivor Lydia Kaiser's healing journey. Her GoFundMe states that she chose to cut her hair in solidarity with a classmate who was also shot and recently returned to school with a shaved head. According to that same post, Lydia visited the chapel where the shooting happened. She showed her family the very pew that she was sitting in when she was shot and the mechanical closet where she hid with her father. The GoFundMe says it was an incredibly emotional but meaningful act of courage. More than 154,000 new cases of colorectal cancer are diagnosed every year in the United States. And while the rate of cases has dropped since the mid-1980s, doctors are noticing a disturbing trend.
Colorectal cancer is on the rise in adults under the age of 50. Fox 9's Leon Purvis joins us now. Leon, you spoke with a woman who was diagnosed as a teenager. She's now cancer-free and on a mission to raise awareness about colon cancer.
Randy, Kelsey, on a mission indeed. Now imagine this. You're 19, a sophomore in college, and you notice something wrong in your stool. Then you go to the doctors to be misdiagnosed for 3 years. She didn't find out what was wrong until she had to advocate for herself. Meet Kirsten Scheller, a colon cancer survivor of 13 years. She was recently honored at a Vikings game as a Medtronic game changer.
To share my story and have kind of my Medtronic career intersect with my colon cancer journey was really special.
Kirsten's cancer story started when she was just a teenager.
I started having intermittent blood in my stool. So at that point, I was probably around 19 years old.
Kirsten then went to get checked out by a doctor.
I don't have any major family history of any type of cancer, and I was really active and healthy, so they thought it probably was internal hemorrhoids.
For 2 years, she went to many different specialists, all telling her similar things. But Kirsten knew there was something else going on.
And we went to see a new gastroenterologist, and she really suggested, let's just do a flex sigmoidoscopy to see what's going on. And a flex sigmoidoscopy is really similar to a colonoscopy.
She was eventually diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer at 22. The doctor she saw in 2012 told her she was the youngest patient he's seen for colon cancer. Kirsten, now 36, advocates for people getting colonoscopies, specifically those below the age for screenings if they feel something is wrong.
And at 22 getting diagnosed, my world got flipped upside down. I was even hoping, will I see myself get married? Will I have an opportunity to have a dog or own a house or have a career?
Now, Kirsten accomplished all of those things she mentioned, and today she gets AI-enabled colonoscopies every 9 to 12 months through Medtronic. Doctors recommend start getting screened at age 45, but as Kirsten just said earlier, if you have symptoms, you should get it earlier. Live in studio, Leon Purvis, Fox 9.
Yeah, so important, especially with people being diagnosed younger and younger.
Yeah, what a life experience she has there, yeah. It's good. Good advice.
Thanks, Leon. Well, before heading to Broadway, Purple Rain is making its world premiere at the historic State Theater in Minneapolis.
Up next, hear from fans who flocked down a purple carpet to see it, including local celebrities. But first, Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard has a preview of what's coming our way in the next couple days.
Another spectacular, somewhat September-like day, well above average. We topped out at 55. We'll be back there again tomorrow. And then the wheels fall off. A November chill rolls in this weekend, and we need to talk about that here in about 5 minutes, earlier than usual, about 5 minutes.